welcome back to Golden Africa and welcome to those who are new here. My name is Muronji Sarah and thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me. Now, for those who have been here before, you know we don't beat around the bush, so we're gonna get straight into it and I'm not sugarcoating anything whatsoever. So today's episode is all about increasing your possibility of attaining success by taking radical responsibility for your life and increasing basically the surface area for success and opportunities to find you. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Now, immediately, the first thing I want you to stop doing is honoring your excuses so much, putting your excuses on a pedestal. Save your excuses, okay? Because say you've applied to a certain program and you just didn't get in, the first instinct is to always say, oh, they were only taking a few people. Oh, Susan had like nepotism, rah, rah, rah. They just gave her the opportunity. Oh, Brian's father paid for it. Oh, Jack's dad is a lecturer in the same program and he finessed like a letter of recommendation for him and whatever. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is perhaps your application just wasn't strong enough. Perhaps you applied late. Perhaps um, you don't fit into the program. There's so many other alternatives that are not necessarily rooted in serving your excuses or serving your mediocrity. I do understand that nepotism exists, favoritism exists, and so many other isms. But that said, there's always something that you can do, and there's always something that you might be lacking. The next best thing for you to do to improve your odds in the future is by actually looking at your application. How can I make it stronger? What can I do better? How can I improve my network? What can I do to make sure that I am successful in my next application, in the next program, or in this program in the following year? Basically, all I'm trying to say is blaming Susan, Brian, Tracy, whoever these other people are, isn't necessarily the thing that will get you the success. By actually sitting with the fact that there are some things that you can do to improve your odds and do them, using that as fuel for you to improve yourself. Do you get what I'm saying? So the next time you're faced with a situation such as this, you've applied into a program, you didn't get in, you applied for a job, you didn't get in, you applied for a grant, you didn't get it. I just want you to sit with yourself and ask yourself, really and truly and honestly, what am I gonna do about it? Are you gonna play this blame game your entire life and watch life as it passes you by? Or are you gonna take radical responsibility and improve yourself and actually take action to become the best version of yourself? The next one is on mindset. I honestly think mindset is everything, and a lot of losses start with your mind and then manifest into real life. And the alternative is also true. A lot of wins are manifested through the mind and then into your actions and then into your reality. I don't know if you guys can relate, but sometimes you meet someone who is defeated in life and you find their mindset is a bit off. They feel like life has betrayed them. They feel like everyone has betrayed them because so and so did this to them. That's why they're exactly where they are 5 years later. Because they took the wrong degree program, that's why they're unsuccessful. And this is like 10 years later. And I'm not talking about people who are born in like absolute poverty or who have faced like the biggest calamities like war, genocide, economic downfall, and whatnot. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about those people who have been faced with same old average experiences. And just because they didn't like the choices that they've made or the choices that were made for them, they just accept that reality for themselves. And in fact, they keep digging the hole deeper for themselves instead of patterning up and fixing up and doing something about what they hate about their reality. Because there's always something you can do to improve your condition. And I don't think blaming your parent for choosing a particular degree program 10 years later is going to serve you any good. What can serve you something is, first of all, accepting that you're privileged, for blaming your parents for paying for the wrong degree program, because some people have to do this themselves out of pocket. And then once you're done with your degree program, what are you going to do about it? Perhaps you can enroll into another degree program that's more relevant to you. Perhaps you can spend a few years to make some money so that you can actually fund this academic pursuit that you think is going to give you better opportunities. There's always something to do about it. And these types of people who basically accept defeat and accept that they're failures, and then they continue to self sabotage their way through life, I think they're very dangerous to keep around you, because mindset is something that's contagious. You know what they say, and go, you're the average of the five people you hang around. You don't want even one person who thinks like that around you, because that kind of mindset can seep into yours and affect you as well. And if you're this person who has been blaming something in their past or someone in their past for their current reality instead of actually doing something about it, try to recognize that, sit in that, and slowly climb out of it. It's not something easy to get out of. It's a very addictive and cagey situation to be in. But once you realize it, once you recognize it, that there is always something that you can do about your current situation to get you at least one step further or one step ahead and one step closer to achieving your goals, then take that step day by day, just one thing each day. And hopefully, eventually, you can get to the success that you've always dreamed of. I honestly believe that this is true. I've seen it happen in real life, I've seen it happen in my life as well. And I hope you can also take radical responsibility in your life that way, by actually taking steps towards getting out of a cycle of self sabotage. And also, you have to understand that mindset is not something that's fixed. You can read books, you can listen to podcasts such as this one, and you can also talk to people who have like a mindset that you aspire to have. You can follow them online and learn from them and correct yourself whenever you realize that you're thinking a certain way that you don't want to be thinking. Once you're on this journey of educating yourself and improving your mindset, you need to be very attentive when an opportunity comes your way and then you're like, oh, they wouldn't take someone like me. Why not? Oh, you know, that university, they really didn't do much for me. Da, da, da. Okay, it's been 5 years. Apply to another program. Do something. Take a job or something to educate yourself. Improve your skills. There's always something you can do. Another case for this is, oh, I can't do this thing because I don't have XYZ. We've all been there. This is unfortunately one of the most accepted type of excuse, but it is an excuse nevertheless. So, my question to you is, how many times have you used it? How many times have you accepted the cards that you were dealt with? How many times have you become a victim of your own circumstances? How many times have you set up rules for yourself or rules for the game that don't exist? Uti, oh, I can't be a content creator. I don't have the latest iPhone. I can't be a podcaster. I don't have microphones. I can't be a business owner. I don't have $5,000 to start. You can insert your particular situation. I know we have all been there. Some of us accept that reality, and the best of us are those who, when they're faced with that situation and when they realize that their brain is doing that thing, they question themselves. They're like, okay, if I think that in order for me to be a content creator, I have to have the latest iPhone, the 17 Pro, but I don't have the money for it. I don't have access to stores that sell it at a reasonable price, because in my local country, it's double the price. I have another iPhone, but it's not the latest edition. It's the 13 or something like that. And then you say, okay, what can I do with the 13 to make me enough money to now get the upgrade? Another alternative is, say you're saying that about your podcast. You have to realize that some people do their podcasts just on their phone in a wardrobe using headphones or earphones as the microphone. I did that, I think, 6 years ago now. That's how I started this very podcast. If you go back and listen to the very, very first episodes, I recorded them in my dad's closet on a broken phone, which is off brand. It was called Oppo or something. It was a Chinese phone. I was using headphones, like basically that little microphone on my headphones as a microphone. And I was editing on my phone during the pandemic. The fact that that same person has been convincing herself that in order for her to come back with her podcast, she needs to have this huge production with a team, editors, lighting, a studio setup is mind boggling to me. That also goes to show that if you don't take care of your mindset and like cultivate it and groom it, you can always backslide. All this to say, it's hitting home for me because this excuse is something that I've used in so many areas of my life. Until recently, I was journaling and I realized, you know what? Who set the rules up? Who said, oh, the minimum qualifications for you to have a podcast, you have to have this, and this? You can just upload anything on YouTube. You can just upload anything on Spotify for podcasters and whatever. There's so many tools no no in this day and age. Basically, you have zero excuses. As long as you have a phone, you can create whatever you want to create. Now, I do understand that sometimes you have a threshold for yourself. OT, this is the minimum acceptable standard for whatever I get to put out. That makes sense, granted, but I don't think that you should let that be what's preventing you from creating that business and whatnot. You can have that minimum threshold to make sure that you're maintaining a standard, but if it's preventing you from creating, you're not maintaining any minimum standard because you're not creating. You're falling way under the threshold by not creating. So you might as well just reduce that minimum acceptable threshold just a little bit so that you can start creating and then improve as you go. And that's actually the final thing that I want to highlight as well. Once you have a big idea of what you want your life to look like, what you want your business to look like, I think you have to come up with an MVP. The first version of your product, the first version of your podcast, the first version of your content is not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be done, executed, uploaded. As you go, you'll keep sharpening your skill. You'll improve your editing skill, your articulation, your technical skill of coding, your leadership skills. You'll improve everything as you go. But that improvement is not going to find you in stillness. You actually have to go out there and create and tinker to try and make that thing work. That's how success is actually made. That's how you increase the surface area for success and opportunities to find you. Another crazy part about this particular podcast, Golden Africa, is I started a media agency that basically sprouted from this. And we've been producing a very professional podcasts for different organizations. That's also why I was kind of procrastinating because I was like, if we're producing for clients at this level, why would I then produce for myself at this level? And it's like, first of all, the clients are paying for high level productions because this is a high ticket item. And my personal project, because it's been on the back burner, hasn't been making money yet. So it doesn't make financial sense for my business to invest in gold in Africa yet, especially considering that most of the people I work with are either freelance or they bill per project. Anyways, all this to say, there is equipment that I do have. And even though I don't have the editing skills and whatever yet, this is the perfect avenue for me to actually learn and increase my skills and level up my skill stack. So if you're seeing this episode, that means I figured out how to edit this very first episode, and the sound actually came out decent, and the thoughts actually came out okay. And that's the first step. And I assure you that with each episode, the quality will keep improving, the editing skills will keep improving, the level of dialogue will keep improving, the guests that I eventually have on will also keep improving, and so will the opportunities. Opportunities will then find me as I am improving, as I am going, but opportunities will not find gold in Africa on the shelf. And that's exactly what I want you to also take home. That idea that you have, that business idea, that product idea, that thing you want to do, the content you want to create, the podcast that you want to create, the opportunities for it, they'll find you on your way. So if you have a skill, create a portfolio for that skill. If you want to do a podcast, start with what you have and start uploading so that we can see the skill and you can refine your skill, your audience, your brand partners, etc., they will find you. If you want to be a content creator, start with the phone that you have, build a community. Eventually, you'll make enough through that audience, through other opportunities that find you because they now see your personal brand and you seem like a consistent person and a reputable person, and the opportunities will find you. I have to emphasize this: opportunities find you when you're in action. There's so many quotes out there that further emphasize this. I'll read them for you. The first goes, a moving man will eventually meet his luck. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Fortune favors the bold. Opportunity favors action, not stagnation. And there's so many more. But all this to say, a lot of opportunities, they find you when you're already out there. Sometimes an opportunity is discussed in an office space, and because someone has been seeing your content, your thought leadership pieces on LinkedIn, etc., they think of you for the opportunity. But if you were not creating that content, if you were not writing those pieces, they probably wouldn't think of you in alignment with those opportunities. Other times, you've applied for a particular job, you've sent in your CV and whatever, and they say yes. Or they say your CV doesn't necessarily align with the role that they're hiring for. And then they're like, oh, but we have another role that's more relevant. Or you shoot your shot. You shoot your shot and you send a cold email to a particular agency or marketing professional, etc. And then they're like, you know what? Hell yeah, this works for us. How can we work together? And all this goes to show that if you feel like you're bigger than the program, go opportunities where they'll find you in bed. You know what? It's your right to think that way. That's up to you. But for those others who truly want to increase the surface area for luck and opportunities to find them, you have to understand how opportunities work. They, more often than not, find you on your way. They find you creating, they find you producing, they find you shooting your shot, they find you when you've put yourself out there. That's just how the program works. That's all the time we had for this episode. Kindly share, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. As always, my dear, stay gold and go get it.